What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Daily Rage Quit. I'm Weiss, your host, and of course, alongside me, the one, the only, Steelman.
Yo, what's up?
And guys, today, I love talking about this in this particular episode. Today, we are going to dive into squads. This is something near and dear to my heart and to Steelman's heart, just simply because one of the biggest parts of gaming is bringing yourself, your friends, your close friends, your friends from afar together to unite and to complete a mission, whether if it's killing out squads or taking out a boss. It doesn't matter. It's one of the best feelings in the world, and it's an important topic that you got to talk about during all of this. And I think in order to kick this off, we got to talk a little bit about the history of particularly the Daily Rage Quits past history in squads. So, Steel, I'll let you kick it off, man, with a little bit about history and what you what you have.
Yeah, man. I guess we've been doing this for, some of us since PlayStation 3, others since PlayStation 4, and then we're going into PlayStation 5 with its crew of probably about, I was looking at one of our regiments for Call of Duty, and we had like 24 people in that regiment, which is kind of crazy. That's a lot of people. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
So, I know some of those people are only playing Call of Duty. We won't carry them over to every other game, but, we have a solid crew of about 10 that we play with, frequently. And it's kind of cool, man. It's funny how the dynamic works. I know Weiss from growing up in New Jersey, and I live in Florida now. He's up in New Jersey right now in New York, but we get to play together every night because you get on the chat and you're ready to go. But we have people from everywhere, man, all walks of life and all parts of my college and your college and after college when I lived in Orlando, when I was living in Orlando, I met some people. So it's like all of these people all come together and play, and because we all have that in common, which is fun. We all get on there and are able to just crush people, whether it's battle royale or cyber attack, Battlefield, whatever it is. So
it's awesome, dude, because there's no better feeling than when either you or someone else in our squad sends out the text message. Everybody that's fucking listening to this gets the same exact thing. And for those of you that have never gamed before, to like getting a text message for a group message that's saying, let's go to the bar. But in this case, it's let's jump on or who's on. And all of a sudden you get this tingly feeling in your hands to text and be like, I got to jump on. And it almost feels addicting at times to just like go, okay, stop everything you're fucking doing. You could be cooking, you could be eating, you could be hanging out with your significant other. Happens to me a lot. I'm like, peace, and you go. Also, for those of you that are listening, probably run to this on a regular basis. Say you are at the bar with your friends. Maybe Steelman and I are at the bar, we're having a couple drinks, and all of a sudden, both of us get the text message, and we're with significant others, maybe, as an example of that moment. We're going to look at each other. We're going to be like, do we head back home? Do we head back home?
Bar's closing soon anyways. Think I'm just going to head home.
I think you get a little bit of FOMO, too, if you reply back to the team, I can't make it. It's such a disappointing thing to write out as well.
Yeah. If you got a good, 4 or 5 squad, you want to be that 6 man. You're like, oh, man, I got to get home and try and get that 6th spot. I don't want to miss out and then hear tomorrow that everybody was crushing people like we have been the last couple of days, man. We've been on a tear lately. We haven't lost a game in 2 days, so it's a good feeling when we were just crushing people in CyberTech, probably 5-0, 5-1, 5-2 is the max we're getting. People are quitting left and right. So when you got a team like that going and everybody's gelled and you're in the zone and you're just crushing people, and A-Rod last night, he was complaining that he doesn't get any kills because we take them all from him. That's a good sign, man. That's good. That's what you want.
It's the right type of squad mentality to have. And really for everybody that's listening, I know you get the same feeling. For those of you that don't have a tight-knit squad, we'll dive into a little bit more about our own squad. Obviously, some of the things that we feel are like best for squads. Also, what's fucking bad for squads, because some of you that don't have a proper squad, you think you need the best person on the planet. That's not necessarily true, and we'll explain that in a little bit, and obviously dive into a little bit more about how to actually find these people in the first place. I think in talking about history and squads, I mean, Steelman and I go back to, to kindergarten days even, but even going into middle school and high school, we were gaming, at a young age where we were tearing in when Half-Life 2 came out, and you had Counter-Strike. You had games like Team Fortress that Steelman had talked about when we were previously having a discussion, where it still is the same mentality, except this time you were like, all right, after school, go to the computer room, jump in, and start to play either one of those games, and everyone would jump in on a landline. It was the same exact feeling. So the squad-based mentality, although it has changed over the years in connections, it has never changed from a philosophical point where it's getting your homies together and having the best fucking time ever.
Yeah, I guess the dynamics changed slightly since we were kids, because you had to go over to someone's house to play video games with them in the past, right? And you'd have to ride your bike like 3 miles to get to their house, and then you'd sit down and play video games. You actually had to do a workout to get there. Now it's like you boot up the system and you're on in seconds. It's great. You can do it at any time.
By the way, all you motherfuckers, that meant that instead of texting Steelman as an example, I had to call him on my fucking landline and probably talk to his mom or dad, then had to fucking get him on the phone and be like, yo, when can you do this? Yo, you can come over. But I had to be told you got to be home by fucking sundown, which isn't a real time. It's just when you see the sun go down. So you had to plan to ride your bike for 25 minutes, and then if you didn't make it home, you get smacked.
Yeah. See, the funny thing, too, about that, I remember being like calling up somebody's parents and being like, hey, is little Jimmy home? And, they're like, no, he went over to Brian's house. And you're like, okay, I'm going to go to Brian's house. And you either call over there or you just go over, and then they're not there. And the mom's like, no, they left and went back to Jimmy's. And they're like, all right, got to go back to Jimmy's. So and then you get there and they're like, no, they went over to this guy. And you're like, shit, man, it could take you an hour to find your friends back in the day. There's no cell phones. You just had to roll with it.
One story we'll tell, won't give any names, but when Halo came out for Xbox, it was like the big thing. But the cool thing was with Halo, as an example, was that it wasn't just 4-player because you could hook up 4 controllers. You could hook up 4 different systems and make a landline out of it. I think it was 4, so you could have almost 16 players. So I remember specifically a particular friend who I played roller hockey with in their cul-de-sac. Steelman just might hit a couple buttons. But I remember going to 4 different houses, putting gigantic TVs onto skateboards, rolling it over to my friend's house, and we had 16 people sitting in a basement doing a whole landline of gaming. It was ridiculous. And that was kind of it was like such a defining moment for squatting and getting your best 4-man squad together when you were going to landline.
Yeah, man, it's something that won't ever happen again, I guess. Those days are long gone.
Thank God. Fuck that.
Yeah, it really isn't unfortunate at all. It's great. So
I mean today, dude, we get to send. I know everybody here sends gifts of hilarious shit that represents like jump on a game or someone sucks. You get a text message squad and like everybody's in there together texting at the same time. Even today, as an example, we had 2 killer nights that Steelman was talking about, and we're still talking about it this morning. And my phone is blowing up in the AM, and it's just a whole lot of fun. And there's something different about it, and the connection that you have with these people across the world is just phenomenal. So always remember, like for me, I cherish my squad members. Steelman, I cherish someone like you and everyone else on the squad, like because it is a true friendship. It is a true connection that you have with people, but only gamers will ever understand that.
Yeah, it's an awesome dynamic. We love the group chat's awesome because you get these influx of Twitch streams and all the highlights from the night before and the chat in the morning after, and it's just kind of like, hey, here's my trophy case of what I did last night, and everyone's like, oh crap, that shit was crazy, and like And it's fun to do that. It's fun to have that. And it really is so similar to sports. I think something I grew up playing a lot of sports and the team aspect, and I shunned it for a while, being like, oh, video games will never be the same as sports. It's not physical activity, but golf's not physical activity. It's a sport. So I mean,
Right.
it's just as much a sport as some of these other team sports. I mean, when you play a game like Cyber Attack or Battlefield, and you're really jockeying for position back and forth, and the dynamic is so different game to game, and you have to kind of change your style of play in mid game just to kind of to win. Sometimes if you're doing something that's not working, they're blocking it, then you got to go around. You have to figure out another way to win the game, and I think that's something that's unique to sports. If you're attacking a team and they have a good defense, then you need to dissect that defense before you're able to score, or whatever it is, whatever sport you're playing. But and video games is similar to that. If you're not, obviously in team deathmatch you get what it is. It's team death. You're just killing people. It's
Right.
It's not really a sport. It's kind of just a one man for all, but you're on a team. But when you get these, Cyber Attack or Rush that we like to play, and you really have to work together to achieve the goal, I think you can't deny that that's like what a sport is, and it's the same thing. It's just that people are, working more mentally and more in their fingers than running around on the field, and I think that's why esports is going to be huge. It's going to catch on. It's going to be. I mean, it already's caught on. It's going to be bigger than normal sports, I think, which, whether or not like it or not, it's just the way it is. That's the way of the world. So, it's, gaming squads here to stay, man. It's fun. We can't wait to get on PS5 and carry the squad over and continue this for another 7 years or whatever the cycle, gaming cycle is.
And guys, that's why it's so important to have a great squad. When you're playing these types of games, even if you're a Fortnite player, it's like super important to still have a great squad, because Steelman put it just perfectly. It's being able to dissect your enemy that's out there and dissecting the way in which you strategize to achieve an objective. Everyone needs to be on that same page. So it's simply important to put together the best possible squad together. I'll tell you, without a doubt, when Steelman and I and the squad get together, our communication style is absolutely on point 90% of the time. 10% of the time, just like everyone else is fucking listening to this, we call out the wrong shit or we don't call out anything. I panic on a regular basis when I'm gaming. So I'm like, oh my God, they're in here. And it's like, the map is fucking huge, dude. Like, what do you mean they're in here? I'm like, and then everyone dies, and then I'm like, I'm fucking stupid. But at some points, what we do find is, like, as you play with somebody a little bit longer, as we all play together much longer, we understand what we're saying. It's all of a sudden a different language sometimes, because sometimes I'll say, oh my God, they're here, and then Steelman will be able to turn around and be like, I know exactly what you're talking about, because I know where you are. I know your strategy. I know what your play style is, so I'm going to totally go to where you are and help out when in need in those particular scenarios. So the importance of having a great communication style with your team doesn't happen in one day. It happens over a period of time. Great communication is just being able to speak to each other, but then communication becomes understanding what that language actually means. Is someone pissed? Is someone upset? Is somebody fucking elated? Are they on fire? You need to know how to communicate in those scenarios. And it, honestly, team, is natural for us, and it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, and that obviously I think comes with playing together for a really long time. We've been doing this for a while, so we know each other. We know each other's play styles. I know typically what route people take in a Call of Duty game, for example, where what side they usually go to and where they're at. I know Tucker and I, for example, go to opposite sides of the map always, and that's always the way we do it. We're never on the same side. Very rarely will you find Tucker and I on the same side. And we've tried going to the same side before, and just to see, and it doesn't work. I think we just get in each other's way. So we're better off on other sides of the map. And it's funny. It's just that's the way it is. So I know when he's talking about his side of the map, and I have no idea what's going on over there, but I'm still listening because at some point, if I die or if he dies, like we might have to switch over and take each other's other sides. And I know, that for everybody really, like everyone kind of has their side and you kind of hear them where they're going. You tend to go to both sides. You kind of, you shift to one side or the other. So like, you're kind of the nomad of the group, which is good. Everyone needs all of that too. So, I mean,
fucking floater, guys. I'm a floater. I don't have a side. I just fucking go with the flow.
I mean, it's key though, because sometimes you need it heavy on the right or heavy in the left or heavy in the middle, and you need somebody to go there and be there and help whoever's already there. So it's good. But yeah, like, it's funny, the team chemistry is always good with us. We always enjoy it. And, the key is communication. We all have good communication. It's tough when you get people that don't gel and they're kind of just there, and they usually kind of fall out of the squad eventually. But yeah, dude, I can't say enough about our squad. It's fun.
I think there's a couple things that I think, especially for people that are listening into this, is to understand the other qualities that make a good squad like ourselves. We're on Ragers on a regular basis. We have a lot of fun. And I think there's a few qualities I definitely can speak to without a doubt that really can enhance that. And I think can help you really in the end find the best squad for you, because there's a lot of new gamers out there. There's a lot of people that have been playing a lot of solo games for a long time. They're just getting into the multiplayer space. We've been in the multiplayer space since the beginning of fucking time. We're a bunch of old motherfuckers. So get prepared for this. The number one fucking thing that, if I could suggest anything, is you got to have a fucking good time about it. You could stay competitive and all that, and you got to, but more importantly, enjoy what you're going into. Because honestly, if you're somebody who is going to not enjoy it, people on the other side of the fucking microphone can feel that every time. And it's not fun for everybody to not enjoy it. Can you stay competitive? Yes. Can you get frustrated? Absolutely. But if you're a fucking negative Nancy and you're never having fun, why the fuck are you playing video games in the first place? Like, get the fuck out of here, man. Like, go do something else. Go gamble. Go waste all your money somewhere else. I don't really give a shit, because for me, I know with my squad, we're always having a fucking killer time. We're laughing hilariously. Whether if someone dies or gets a fucking kill streak going, it doesn't matter. It's still a hilarious time. And you got to make sure you have fun and you enjoy it.
Yeah, this is the obvious one for sure. The other part of this is that like people get on each other's cases. It happens. Like, don't get offended by it. Like, just, you got to have thick skin, and everyone's just got to kind of like let it brush off. I mean, everyone does for the most part. Every once in a while somebody gets pissed or bent out of shape, and it's like, you're like, wow, he's just being cranky, like whatever, it happens, and you go back to it and everything's fine, and that's the important dynamic as well. It's hard for people to jump in and understand that, but after years of playing with people, you start to not get offended by every little, oh, what are you doing? Oh, why didn't you revive? Oh, come on, man, like, get me up, and it's just like, all right, chill out, dude. I'll get to you in a second, type thing. So, and that's another important thing for me about it, as well as what you said. Like, you got to have a good time. Like, if you're not having a good time, then what's the point? And sometimes we all have those nights where we're like, nothing goes right, and you're like, hey guys, I'm jumping off, and you're rage quitting out, and like, I'll rage quit out, and I'll just be like, all right, see you guys, I'm getting off, and like, it's just a night you can't get anything going, and that you're being a detriment to the team, and you're like, I'm not having fun anymore. So like, what's the point of this? Like, I need to just go to bed, or I need to just go read a book or something. Gamble.
That's why there's an off button. You can fucking turn it off.
Yeah.
One thing about turning things off, I think is essential to a good squad, no matter what. All of us in at least our squad, Steelman, we all have decent to great mics and headsets. Listen, single player people out there, great. You have a great surround sound system, all of that. Whoop-de motherfucking do. But when it comes to the squad-based games and playing multiplayer, go out and invest in a good headset and a quality microphone. Because, one, you can't actually be a good squad without a microphone. right? If you can't communicate, you're already at a disadvantage. And then the second thing is learn the motherfucking etiquette about microphones. Please. Because we still, as a squad who's been around for almost a decade, we still make those mistakes. I still chew food on the microphone. This is a constant thing where we may have one person left on the squad and they're going to go into rage mode, and all of a sudden everyone's chatting while that person's going for it. Then all of a sudden your etiquette goes out the door because that person can't hear shit except for everybody talking shit on each other. And then that person dies. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. That's a tough one, man. I think that bothers some people more than others, but like it's a tough one when you get, you're the last person left and everyone's like talking about how they died, and you're like trying to hear what's going on. You hear footsteps around you and you don't know where the guy is because everyone's talking, and you're like, Jesus, shut the fuck up, everyone. You just like have to say it, but like, it happens. It's part of it. It's unfortunate that sometimes you get caught up and someone's yelling over you while you're trying to listen, but that's part of the game.
It absolutely is. And so just make sure, guys, with all of that, that is an important aspect. One of probably the last things I could say about a great squad is a well-balanced squad is super important. Steelman mentioned like how I'm a nomad. I travel where need to. A lot of times for me, as an example, I like to kind of leave a buffer in the back. So I'm like laying down suppressing fire, or I'm going to travel with somebody who's having a, maybe not as good a time, or we know that they're rushing certain areas. It's a team sport. We talked about that. And one of the big things here is, you could have a well-balanced squad who you don't have fucking gold members across the board, but you have certain team members that have a particular quality that make your team unstoppable. People who fucking revive. So you don't get a ton of kills, great. But if you know, like, you're going to sneak up and be able to revive people, awesome. If you're someone who's going to rush in and kill 5 people, maybe you are that person. You need someone to come in from behind that will also like take out the rest of those people that may have taken you out, because you'll take out 3, but you'll probably get murdered out after, those 3 are gone, right? So it's all about the balance, because if you have everyone who does the same thing, you're going to get totally fucked in these games, especially us.
Yeah, and again, this is a sport aspect again, right? You don't get 20 wide receivers on a football team and expect to win if no one can throw the football. Like, you need to have some versatility in the squad. You need to have people that do all roles. And Battlefield is one of those games where you really get to explore that, because you need a medic, you need an engineer, you need a sniper and a scout. You need a supply guy, you need everything. And if you don't have one of those things, you're kind of incomplete. Sure, you can have more attacking players and defensive players or whatever, but it's important to have somebody that's like, especially if you're on a roll and you're killing people, like, you need ammunition. Like, somebody needs to come and give you ammunition. Yeah, that's this guy. And like, like I for one, like in Battlefield, like, I'm running at tanks. If I see a tank, I'm running straight at it and I'm throwing everything I got at it and destroying it, and I don't care. And then I need ammunition because I just used everything. So like, I'm coming back and I'm getting ammunition, and then we're moving forward. And so, and then you need medics and people that can pick people up but also fight, and everybody's fighting. So, I mean, that's the cool thing about Battlefield that we miss so much when Battlefield 5 really sucked, is that, we miss that dynamic where it's like everyone's working to do something. You have your own little battle going on, but you're also helping your teammates and you're pushing forward, and it's, a tug of rope or a tug of war over like some small piece of land or an objective, and you finally get it and you feel like accomplished, and then it's like, all right, we got to go on to the next one. And the momentum starts to build and the game starts to change, and maybe they start to stop you a little bit, taking back some more momentum from you, and then you got to figure out a way to push forward and get there again. That stuff's just incredible. It's fun. It's like playing cops and robbers or manhunt or all that stuff, or any sport you play growing up. I mean, it's all the same thing. It's very similar feeling to that.
I'll let you guys know that every time I join the chat, I would always say, who needs ammo?
That is true.
Please, by all means, comment below and just let us know, what is your particular role when you're in the squad? We definitely want to know, and we'd love to see where it measures out to. That would be totally sick. I know for a fact I'm ammo supply, but I'm also like going to lay down 400 bullets at a time so people can fucking move forward. And you hear Steelman, he's going to move forward and fucking blow up tanks. And we got people that are fucking reviving people nonstop. So it's really cool. And that's an important dynamic without a doubt. Now, being such old heads in this gaming industry where we've done LAN parties, I've even done CS where I got on a phone, bought a microphone with my landline, and actually called one of my friends and was gaming with them based off of my phone, which was insane, right? That is like, nobody will understand that here today, which is totally fine. You don't want to. It's a shitty experience. But I think what's really important, though, is like, the biggest piece of all is how do you actually find new squad members? There's such a huge gaming community right now that finding those right squad members may seem easy, but it's actually not. And there's a couple things I can suggest without a doubt, just from previous and understandings of the gaming industry and what we've done. The very first thing is, those friends that you make right off the bat, have other friends that they game with too. It's networking 101. Yeah. Don't be afraid to game with other people. If they suck, it's okay. Don't fucking talk to them anymore. But if they're great or they fit your squad mentality, game with them more. Learn about who they are. Understand where they come from. It's super cool because you learn about their stories and they're cool people. If they suck, this is the best part about gaming. You can fucking block them and never talk to them again. And that's totally okay, too.
Yeah.
I think that's super important when finding squad members. You heard it earlier. What was the squad number for Call of Duty for us right now, Steelman?
24, man.
24 fucking people, man, because we've gamed with so many different people and made so many different connections with, just within the Call of Duty side, that now what's really interesting is they've joined our clan. They've joined, I'm not going to put the name out there just simply because I don't need a million people joining it, but simply because we enjoyed gaming with them. And I think that is super fucking important.
Yeah, you have this weird dynamic where you have like separate groups of gaming people, and it's like, one person meets one person from another, and they're like, hey, hit it off, and then they're like, hey, wait, I got my boys. You need a couple more, and you're like, yes, bring them in. And they bring in 2 dudes, and you have 2 guys, and now it's 3 guys from each squad playing together. And then you fuse together, and now your 2 squads have become one giant squad, and now you have this giant group of people that you can call on at any time to play. And you usually stick to your base squad, right? You throw those guys in first, and then you're like, oh yeah, we got room for 2 more. But then you start playing together so much that it's like, you just get on, and it's the first people that everyone's just jumping on. They're like, all right, I'm in. You get 6 people, you're ready to go, like that. And there's a waiting list sometimes. We had the last 2 nights, we had 8 people, and there was only 6 slots, and people were just waiting in queue because they want to play. They're like, I'm going to wait, and I'm going to get my next spot. I'm not going to leave and give it up. And then someone goes and eats dinner, and the next guy jumps in, and it's like, oh, all right. But yeah, it's something too. We've learned to make it fun throughout, and one of the things that we've talked about, and lately is that, and I'm not sure who came up, but I think I'm going to just accredit A-Rod to doing it.
I would.
I think he's the one who came up with it. But we've gotten a little bored playing against other people, and we just start winning, and you're just on a streak, and you're killing people, and it's just like no one can touch you that night. It's like going to the park and playing winter stays on and just beating everybody up. And like we're just crushing people, so we'll start competing amongst each other. And we have this thing that we call top bun. We have bottom bun is the last on the list. It's a burger, right? So you got the top bun, you got the bottom bun. Those are the best player and the worst player in any given game. And then after bottom bun, you got the meat, you got the cheese, and then you got the lettuce, and then you got the pickle or the onions and the pickle, and then you got the top bun. And everyone wants to be top bun. Everyone's trying to fight for that top bun position, and no one wants to be bottom bun. And if you get bottom bun, you're dogged on for at least the game until you can either get off the bottom bun, we call it. You got to get off the bottom bun. So, I mean, I think A-Rod came up with this, and it's hilarious. We just, every night it's like, we'll get in a game, we'll play a couple rounds, we'll be like, hey, see you down there on that bottom bun, man. What are you doing? You're gonna get
It's
off
the
that bottom bun?
it's
And
the
people
fourth
start
it's the
playing.
fourth round. We
Yeah,
only got one more left. I mean,
yeah,
you're up only by 75 points. What you gonna do? And it's funny because we'll all run in and start rushing, trying to kill as many people or revive or plant the bomb just to get the points, so that you're not called bottom bun, which is
yeah,
probably one of the most hilarious fucking terms
yeah,
thus far
man.
for the squad.
Yeah, it's fun, dude. We've enjoyed it lately. It's been a big part of playing is just the bottom bun, top bun piece. So it's been real fun. I think that's one of my favorite things in a long time that we've done. That's been hilarious. So
I think for everybody that's listening, this is what you want to get out of your squads. You want to find the right squad. You want to build that squad out. You want to continue to build out more people so you have that bench like we had the other night when there was 8 people sitting there. There's only 6 spots, so it just rosters in each and every time. Because guess what? We're having fun and people want to game with us in the first place because we're going to shred each other. We're going to shred the competition, and it's a lot of fun. Listen, if you want to find other people out there as well, and this isn't your way that you go about things, you got to step out of your comfort zone. Get on social media. There are a ton of gaming groups. If you're a PlayStation owner, if you're an Xbox owner, if you're a PC guy, go into those different channels, go into those different groups on Facebook and Instagram. Simply post up, I'm looking for someone to game with. There is at least 15, 20 people that are going to respond throwing gamer tags at you and are going to actually game. So if you think people don't want to game with you, it's not true. People will game with you, whether if you're good and also whether if you're bad. Like, just because you're not good doesn't mean people don't want to game with you. They might just want to have someone that's awesome to have in there. So you better have a killer personality.
yeah, yeah, man. I agree with you. Just get out there and do it. You got to step out of your comfort zone. For us, it's easy to be comfortable when you have a group behind you, like we do. We call somebody in. We're like, hey, you can come play with us. You did well last round, and we're like, call them up, and then we get the feel for them and we talk to them a little bit. And like sometimes they're just not, they don't fit. They might be good, but they don't fit the team, and they usually don't come back. And that's fine. Everyone has their own team. Everyone has their own thing. Not everyone can be as toxic as we are and just cursing and yelling at everybody and acting like honchos all the time. So, yeah, get out there and do your thing, man. Find the people that gel with you. Find the people you enjoy playing with, and don't give up too. Like you'll find them if it's on Facebook or whatever. Other people do to find them. That's a good way of doing it too. It's all about having fun though at the end of the day. So make sure you're having fun, find people you have fun with, and stick with them.
All right, y'all. That is another episode of the Daily Rage Quit. Be sure to subscribe down below. We want to keep these videos going. Make sure you like or dislike our video. We want to make sure if you want to know if you like our shit or not. And of course, comment, keep the conversation going. We want to keep things rocking. But this is the Daily Rage Quit saying peace.